Okay, I think I'm live. It's been a long day. All right, can you guys see and hear me? Can anybody see me? Hey, Jamie. Hey, Annette. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can see me. Um, it's been a long day, even besides. Okay, good. You guys are here. That's what's up. Um, it's been a long day. It's been a long weekend period. And so, if you're coming here with some fuck shit, with some bullshit, you will be blocked instantly. Not only out this stream, you're gonna be blocked off my channel. I'm not here for none of that nonsense. Don't bring that negativity over here. If you're here to be negative, get the fuck out my chat. Period. Okay. To those who are here, you know what I'm saying, to come to my Sunday stream that we usually do every Sunday, anyways. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for coming through. Um, it's been a long. Like I'm still right now. I'm still shocked. Now I'm gonna tell you how I found out everything. So earlier today, I was working on this video shoot, and so I had to come back home. And so as I'm getting ready to come back home, I was getting phone calls, and I ended up talking to my homegirl, and she was like, "Did you hear about Nipsey?" And I'm like, "What about Nipsey?" And she was like, him and three other people got shot. So that right there, I was just like, "Oh my God, this is insane." Because me and my homeboy, okay, if you guys follow me on Instagram, then you guys know I have a really close friend I'm cool with. I call him my little ratchet friend from South Central, even though he's originally from Brooklyn. So that's like one of my best friends in LA. So whenever we go to LA, we hook up, we hang out, we kick it. And so he's starting his own business. And if you guys don't know, Nipsey Hussle, like he's so big in the community, like man, this shit's hard to talk about, like for real, for real. Let me read this super chat. I Haley, thank you for the super chat. She says, I'm heartbroken. I love Nipsey. I'm praying for Lauren and her family. Yeah, it's insane, everything that's going on. But basically, he was looking at renting office space. When I tell you, we were literally talking about Nipsey Hussle like not even 3-4 days ago. We were having a whole conversation about him because my boy was looking to open up office space. Nipsey bought a whole plaza in South LA. So he bought a whole plaza out there. He has clothing and all types of stuff, but he also has office spaces for like, people who are starting businesses and you just need an office space. And he rents some, for like a really good deal. So my boy was trying to debate if he was going to go with Nipsey Hussle and get an office space via Nipsey Hussle. But he was thinking about doing it in another location because a lot of Nipsey Hussle stuff tend to be in the hood. So he was trying to debate where to, do it at. But he said, he's talked to Nipsey, was like, the brother is so down to earth, real cool, real conscious. Just spoke really highly of him. And I'm like, dang, that'd be so dope to interview him. He just seems like a really cool dude. Like, we were just talking about him. So when she called me and told me that, I called him. I was like, did you hear what's going on in LA? He was like, nah, I've been, in the studio all day. I've been busy. I said, Nipsey just got shot. I said, I don't know what's going on. They're saying that somebody died. I don't know if it's him. So he said, I'm going to call you back. So he goes, he's trying to gather information. I'm trying to gather information. People are hitting my son up, his friends in LA. And then as I'm calling my boy back, my son goes, Mom, he's dead. They just announced it like 3 seconds ago on MSNBC. And it's like, and I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, he just said he died. He's gone. And he was like, T, I gotta get off the phone. He's like, I can't do this right now. I got homeboys out here in the Twin Cities hitting me up. Like, people are taking this hard. It's one thing, especially when you're from the hood and you don't have shit and you do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You do what you gotta do to try and make it out. And to see somebody go from, gang banging and living a certain lifestyle to changing his life around. When he made his music, you could tell how much he elevated, especially with his new album that he dropped, Victory Lap, which was up for a Grammy. You could tell how much he elevated, just the things that he was saying. Just like when he did the Breakfast Club interview and Charlamagne the God was talking about, it's dope how you mix the food, like how you mix the medicine and the food. The music is the food. And then when he mixed the medicine in, just like Prodigy used to do, he used to talk about like, kind of superficial stuff, and then he'd mix in, things about the Illuminati. And so Charlamagne was saying that that's dope that you brought up Dr. Sebi. And they had a whole conversation about that. Oh God, we got almost 3,000 people in here. Okay, so he was saying that it was really dope how he mixed that in with the food. And then at that point, Nipsey was talking about how he was working on a documentary to talk about the trial of Dr. Sebi. How back in like 1985, he went on trial in New York because he had put like a newspaper, he hit up the newspapers basically telling them that he cured HIV/AIDS. And so they tried to arrest him for like being a fraudulent doctor. They fought all these charges on him, and he was able to bring people after people to the courtroom showing, their diagnosis before Dr. Sebi, where they had HIV and other diseases, and then after working with Dr. Sebi, they were cured. So Nipsey Hussle wanted to bring this into a documentary format for the younger generation, because a lot of these younger kids, they don't know who Dr. Sebi is. That man died a few years ago. They don't know too much about him. And, him being a rapper and being well known, he wanted to speak on that. And I thought that was just so dope. So to hear that he was gunned down in the manner that he was gunned down in is just, it's insane. Let me read these super chats real quick. Kara Bridges, thank you for the $14.99. I appreciate it. Flossie Brooklyn says we got to support us. We definitely do. And, a lot of people are talking, they're saying things like, oh, he shouldn't have had, businesses in the hood. Maybe he should have, had them in West Hollywood, outside of South Central, outside of, the south part of LA. And to me, it's like, we say all the time that celebrities and rappers get rich, then they forget about the people in the hood. They get their money and then they move to Beverly Hills, they move to the Valley, they start businesses out there, all the while forgetting about people in South Central, Compton, Watts, all that stuff. Nipsey didn't do that. Even though he had money, he had the means, he still was opening up businesses in the hood to give opportunities to people of a lower income bracket. You know what I'm saying? Why sit here and open up businesses in West Hollywood, or to like the middle class or the upper class, open up businesses there for them, and then forget about the people, who helped him be the man he became. So I respect him a lot for having those businesses, because like I said, even those office spaces that he owned, I know a lot of people that were renting office spaces from him, and it really helped them, to be able to have their own business in an office space where people could come and conduct real business, as opposed to having people come to your house, having meetings in your living room, having meetings on your front porch. Like, he gave people a chance to be business, entrepreneurs and business owners. So he's going to definitely be missed. For y'all who don't know the stuff he was doing in the hood, definitely read up on Nip. He was doing a lot. Let's see here. Fly Phoenix says, my dad told me about Dr. Sebi. Jay says, just join what's going on. So you didn't hear about Nipsey? I'm going to read the article in a minute, Jay. Just hold on. Flossie said, facts T, put the medicine in the candy. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? People are so busy, especially nowadays. They just want to just feed into just lies, bullshit, salacious gossip, and nonsense. That's all folks want to just sit there and devour. So I can respect somebody who's taking a whole different route and who's trying to talk about some real shit, especially in their music, because it's very, very easy to make that, that bubblegum mumble rap type stuff that really doesn't make you think. It's a hot beat. It makes you dance and makes you want to bust down. But it's not, once the song is over, you're left with nothing. You feel me? Let's see here. Marie Devon says, finally caught alive. Love you, T. Rest in peace, Nipsey. He wasn't perfect, but he was groundbreaking and influential. He definitely was. You know what I'm saying? And nobody out here is perfect. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Taya B says, gorgeous, period. Thank you so much, sis, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Asia Dominique, she says, hey, T, thanks for the shout out a few months back after I had surgery. Oh, okay. I remember that. It meant the world to me. I met Nipsey Hussle years ago. Extremely down-to-earth guy. He didn't deserve this at all. R.I.P. I'm so glad everything went good with your surgery. I'm glad you got a chance to watch that live. I'm glad it put a smile on your face. And I'm very happy that you got a chance to meet Nipsey. Everybody I know who's met him, who's worked with him, or just met him in passing, you know what I'm saying, at the local shops or the local eateries, always humble, always down to earth, always willing to stop and talk to a fan, take pictures. He looked at himself like just a regular guy. And to know that his final moments was him stopping, talking to a fan, taking a picture with a little girl, only for somebody to ride up and shoot him in the back of his head and shoot other, two other people, excuse me, it was a total of 3 people. It's just insane to me. That final picture is just so creepy. I posted on Instagram where he's with the little girl, and then the side by side shot, you see him with some red shorts on, and he's like on the concrete, fighting for his life. And I feel so bad for Lauren London. I feel so bad for, their children. For those of y'all who don't know, Nipsey has a daughter, not with Lauren London. His daughter, I want to say maybe she's like 7 or 8, I'm not sure. But he has a beautiful little girl, and then he has a little boy with Lauren London. So he does have a son. So most people either only know about the child with Lauren London, or they only know about his daughter, but he does have 2 children who are going to be mourning their father. Let's see here. Welcome, Fashion DYI Tawana. Thank you for joining the membership, sis. El Simone says the streets are saying this was not gang related but government related. Give them facts, T. Honestly, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, I was not there. I mean, I have a lot of people sending me DMs. Like I said, I got people out here, sending me information who have connections in LA and stuff like that. And yes, everybody knows that Nipsey was a Crip. That's not a secret. The thing that scares me the most, because I have a lot of my LA subscribers and followers in my DMs, a lot of things are getting shut down right now, and a lot of people are really scared because where it took place was definitely in the hood. And what we don't want to happen, because y'all know anytime something big like this happens in LA, it's about to get lit. It's going to be a long, bloody summer. And that's what right now the police are trying to prevent. People are trying to have cooler heads prevail. Some people are saying it was a retaliation. I've gotten that story, that something happened to, some Bloods, and this was a retaliation. Other people are saying it's a government conspiracy because he was working on the Dr. Sebi project. I don't know. Some people are saying it might have been some old beef from back in the day. I have no idea. But what I do know is that a man who had changed his life around for the positive, who was doing great work, he wasn't just rapping about it, because it's very easy to get on, to get on the track and rap about some positive shit, talk about some conscious stuff. He was really putting his money where his mouth was. He was really opening up businesses, not one, but multiple. He bought an entire plaza. He was opening up multiple businesses in the hood and giving people in the hood opportunities to have jobs. So that way they don't have to be on the corner. That way they don't have to hustle and rob and do all types of nefarious shit just to make it day by day. So he was actually, walking the walk, not just talking it. So I had nothing but respect for him. And I think we was just talking about him in the last live stream, and like I said, I wish more people had supported his movement and more people had supported his music. It was really dope to see him nominated this year for a Grammy. But I think that more people are definitely going to go back and listen. And especially when you go from listening to like his first albums to where he's at now, you're going to see so much growth. It's crazy. Five Niece says both assassinated. Who is both? You talking about Tupac and Biggie? Let's see here. We got so many comments coming through. We got another super chat. Okay, so Lifted Bod Histava says, "Rest in peace, Nipsey. We have to also remember that the left eye also brought Dr. Sebi's info to us and passed in reflection of bringing us the good news." I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point, sis. I didn't even think about that. It's very interesting because I didn't know who Dr. Sebi was until the whole Left Eye situation on the Behind the Music, and she talked about it because I didn't know about the trial and all that stuff. That was, when I was like a kid, so I had no idea who he was. But after the whole Left Eye situation, when she went to Honduras and she ended up dying, and everybody was like, what the hell was she doing in Honduras? Why was she not in Atlanta? And then that's when it came out that she was down there, working with Dr. Sebi and just becoming more enlightened. And unfortunately, she ended up passing. But that's when I first heard about Dr. Sebi. And then I started doing more research on him. And then I forgot about him for a while. And then when YouTube was invented and I first started coming on YouTube, I would run across like these conscious videos, and they would talk about Dr. Sebi and his herbs. And then being that I had a chronic illness, that always made me very interested in the stuff that, that he was making and like his herbal remedies and things like that. So that's very interesting that you brought that up. I didn't even think about that connection, how, Lisa Lopes basically brought Dr. Sebi to like the national, light to a lot of us who didn't know about him, and she passed. And then you have Nipsey doing this documentary now. He's gone. Let's see. Let me read some of these comments. Sun Queen says, now it's time to start paying attention to shit. Yes, it is. Kiwi West says, y'all are quick with the blocks. Oh, my mods don't play. We're not here for none of the foolishness. Y'all want drama and bullshit, go elsewhere, okay? We have mature adults over here. So my mods are not playing with people. Let's see here. Nisa Bella says, it's about to be lit in LA. I won't be coming home for the summer. Now, thanks to the government and anybody who is woke knows that this wasn't gang related. Lala Max says, may Nipsey rest in heaven. Yana says, look here, we need to be checking on Lauren London. I mean, yeah, but are we going to go check on her? I don't personally know her. I'm sure there are people in their life that are going to be checking on her, making sure she's okay. I can only imagine what she's going through. Somebody told me that they recently did some type of special with like a magazine. I want to say GQ, where they were talking about how well they knew each other, and it was like really cute. I haven't watched it yet, but I need to check it out. So, I mean, they were very close. Very, very close. Snack says, T, my girl, I'm in the chat and I'm hurting. Yeah. What's up? I definitely feel it's a lot of people. A lot of people hurting. Finale says, who's Nipsey? Google him. Google him and you'll find out exactly who he is. Rose says, India Love and Erica Mena's ex died about 2 weeks ago. Yes, he did. I forget his name. It's eluding me right now. But yeah, he did die. And it's like, I guess for me, I get so tired of the same song and dance. Every time somebody dies, everybody's saying put down the guns and, all this gun violence and, we need to stop killing one another and black crime. And it's like, we say this every time and it's just unfortunate. It's like nothing changes. Nothing changes. And the way that they did it, they had no regard to the fact that there were small children out there. Some of those babies could have been hit. They could have been killed. He had just got done taking a picture with a little girl. And it's like they just had no regard. Somebody sat there and watched everything going on. And then they sat and shot him. Another thing I find really disturbing is that, after all of these cases happen, you always have all these clout chasers. Now you have folks online literally trying to take claim to taking his life. Now I'm going to assume that if you really took somebody's life, you'd be smart enough not to go onto social media and brag about it, being that the police are watching everything that everyone posts and does on social media. But the fact that these people are out here making claims and saying that they're Nipsey Hussle's killer, it's like, how sad and miserable is your life that you would find it funny, you find some type of humor to claim a murder that 9 times out of 10 you had nothing to do with. When I tell you we're living in a sick, demonic world, it's insane. It's insane the mentality that people have. Instead of showing that man respect, even if you don't know him, even if you didn't like his music or you didn't like what he stood for, that's fine. But why go out your way to sit there and cause more anguish and pain, especially when I said he's a father, and then he was also with Lauren London as well. Let's see here. Marvin Marshall says, was it gang related or was it a blood sacrifice? Tennis Hall says it's an evil world we live in. Very, very evil. Very evil and very sick. And that's the sad part. When I seen that, I was just like, are people for real? Like, you're trying to get clout by claiming that you killed somebody? Like that? We live in a sick world. That's what we're talking about now, Bobito. He says, what do you think about the guy on IG admitting to killing him? That's exactly what we're talking about now. And I just find it sad and sick that somebody's getting pleasure in this. Coming out and saying that they took somebody's life just to get follows, just to get internet fame. It's really sickening. That's the same thing that happened with the whole XXX situation, is that everybody was trying to be bootleg detectives, and they sat there and said that those 2 young boys from Florida killed XXX, and it's like, well, where's the proof? Where's the evidence? Oh, well, because, 2 months ago, they wrote XXX in their profile. Now it's gone. Like, they was just piecing together all types of bullshit, stuff that could have got these 2 young boys killed, only to find out they had nothing to do with the murder. And the sad part is these young boys were sitting there, loving the fame, loving the clout, going back and forth with people. I mean, the attention seeking in society, it's like there's no bounds. There's no there's no cool, there's no, you know what, let me just chill. This is not something I should be doing right now. People just don't have no respect at all. Let's see here. Somebody just left a good comment. Mm. Frank says, killed for helping society. Um, the video of Nipsey getting CPR is too much. You know what? The video said, and I'm going to tell you this. One thing about me, I block people. Don't tell me what to post on my page. I don't care if you've been following me for 2-3 years. If you've been following me for a long time, I post what I want to post, okay? The problem is people will say, oh, you shouldn't post this video. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay. The thing is, y'all need to realize that death is real. And these are the consequences of death. Death is not pretty. That video is viral right now all over social media. And I hope that the video, wakes people up. It was no different than the video of Chief Keef's homeboy, not Fredo Santana, because he wasn't killed. He died of lean. The one who got killed, I think, was Capo, who died on the sidewalk, breathing and gasping for air. Like, people need to realize the severity. Like, this is like real life. This is what happens. Some people need a wake-up call. Like, I understand the videos can be disturbing and stuff like that, but don't tell me what I can and can't post, okay? This is something that's going on right now. This is a reality, and people need to realize that death is no joke, and it's really sickening. Now, I don't know if Nipsey had security guards. I'm not sure if he had any security guards around him, if he worked with security. I'm sure probably when he, did certain concerts and stuff. I don't know if he always had security with him, because if he did, then they were definitely slipping up. Like, we all know with the whole XXX situation, he didn't travel with security. With 6ix9ine, he kept a bunch of security around him. And I think it's going to get to the point now, especially when you have rappers who are not really problematic, because he wasn't problematic. He wasn't involved in a bunch of mess. You didn't see him just involved in a bunch of social media fuckery. You know what I'm saying? The people, you never really saw him on the blogs because he wasn't involved in a lot of. I think the last time he was trending was when him and Lauren London went through like a small breakup, and then they obviously got back together. But other than that, he was never trending for like fuckery. So it's like, I think it's going to be to the point now where a lot of rappers and entertainers, they're going to be more standoffish. They're not going to be as willing to take pictures with fans. They're not going to be as willing to be open. And they're definitely going to be traveling with a lot more security, because this is just really, really scary. It's really scary. This was in broad daylight in front of a bunch of people. So like I said, I don't know if he had security with him or if he didn't. But the fact that these people, they felt no fear. They just shot him and they just drove off. I'm trying to read these comments. They're going fast here. They say one of the others shot along with Nipsey was one of his security guards. Okay. Thank you, Jay Lenise, because I wasn't sure if he had security with them or not. Now, that's really sad if he had his security with him and they still got shot and he was able, and he still got killed. Scorpio Life 91 says, I'm glad Lovelyti came on live tonight. I found this out from my mom, and she doesn't know anything about this world. Yeah, what I found really crazy, he was killed in front of children, Tanise. What I found really crazy is that one of my friends said she started getting Twitter alerts to her email, and she's not on Twitter like that. She's really not. She doesn't follow Nipsey. She got a Twitter alert saying that breaking news from TMZ, Nipsey Hussle has just been killed. Because that's how she found out about it. And like, it was like within maybe 6 to 10 minutes of TMZ posting it. So it's just really strange that they were sending out all these alerts and tweets to people and email alerts. Because usually Twitter doesn't do that unless you're following TMZ, unless you ask for notifications. And she said this was the first time she's ever received a notification. So being that your mom doesn't know anything of this world, that might have been how your mom found out. Because my friend she's not on Twitter like that at all. She got an alert about Nipsey Hussle. And then that's when she called me. So, I don't know. It's like they're definitely letting everybody know that another rapper has been shot and killed. Let's see here. Okay, so Cray B sent a super chat. She says, I'm from LA, born and raised, and know how gangs operate. This was not about gangs. Our brother was assassinated, and our sons are hurt. That's really interesting. Like I said, all we have right now is speculation. I don't know. I'm not going to put anything out there as solid proof because I don't know. None of us know. I don't know if it was a government conspiracy to take him out because he was becoming too woke and he was waking up, a lot of the masses, or if this was some gang banging nonsense. Either way, it's sad. Let's see here. Desiree Nicole says, it's a little sketchy. He was doing that documentary and ended up getting killed. Yeah. It isn't like somebody stated, it reminds them of, the whole Left Eye situation. She got close to Dr. Sebi and then, she eventually was killed. And if you guys remember, that was when Left Eye had left TLC and she was becoming very conscious, very aware. She had changed her name, I believe, at that time to Supernova. And that's when she was like working with Suge Knight and she was doing all these weird interviews. Like if you weren't conscious, which I was not back then, I was really young, it kind of went over your head and it was just like, oh my God, Left Eye's acting so weird. But now when I go back and watch those interviews, I just realized she was becoming way more enlightened. Let's see here. Roman, what's up, Ronan? Ronan sent the super chat. Ronan says, much love, T. Just woke up to the news, and these attention whores have no shame or limit in numbers. R.I.P. Nipsey. Yeah, it's really sad. The attention seeking nowadays, just the sickness of social media, it just makes no sense whatsoever. Just like I was saying today on Instagram, the Beehive, for whatever reason, because they're mad about the whole ghost kissing Beyonce situation. I understand Beyonce was uncomfortable, and things like that. So what do people do? They start threatening him. And then out of nowhere, they started attacking Carrie Hilson. And like I said on Instagram, you guys will not be satisfied until this poor woman ends up, hurting herself. Because she gets drugged literally for no reason, just because. It's crazy the stuff that's going on out here. Naiua Martin says, love your videos and commentary. Thank you so much. Fennell Carroll, you're not blocked because I can see your comments. So you weren't blocked. You will only be blocked if you're coming in here on some fuck shit, period. So as long as you're not on here on no bullshit, you're fine. Let's see here. Mike just sent the super chat. He says, I was studying for an exam, and when I heard this, I couldn't anymore. This really bothered me. R.I.P. Nip. I feel the same way. Right when she called, we were on our way. I told the boys, I said, we're going to go see Us at 7:30. Because remember, I didn't get a chance to see it last weekend. So the live stream today was going to be about Us, the movie, because we went to go see that. And it was just from the time we got the call, when everything went down and the phone calls and getting in the car and getting them to the movie theater, it was just crazy. So we were able to get in there. But, I'm going to say this. I like Get Out a lot better. I think because my mind was in so many other places, especially with the whole Nipsey Hussle situation, I don't think I was able to focus as much as I would have liked on the movie Us. It was okay. I think for me, it has a way deeper meaning. It was telling like a lot of telltale signs. And thank you to the girl on Instagram, I forget your name right now, who sent me the DM with the breakdown of Us. I'm going to definitely watch that. Because some of you guys were saying that there was like this huge breakdown between Us, the number 33, and then Nipsey Hussle being, sacrificed at age 33. There's like some big breakdown that you guys were talking about on my Instagram. So thank you for like all the messages, and thank you for the video. I have to finish watching it. I haven't gotten a chance to. Lavelle Beauty says, I love Beyonce. They need to leave Carrie Hilson alone. They really do. Ari says, no spoilers, T. I haven't watched Us yet. Barina says, Us has a lot of double meanings. It really did. Put a 1 in the comment section if you liked the movie Us, and put a 2 if it was just okay. Because to me, Get Out was a lot better. Us was almost just way too deep. Us was one of those movies that you can't watch once. Like, I'm going to have to probably go back and watch it again sometime this week. It was just so many, it was just way too many twists and turns. After a while, it was just like, what in the world? And I'm still trying to figure out, like, who are these people? Were these people their shadows? Were they clones? I don't know. It's just really confusing. I'm still trying to, like, figure out everything because I didn't want to watch, like, any spoilers. I didn't want to watch any breakdowns of Us. I wanted to see it myself. So right now, it's like my mind is still trying to, like, fit everything together as opposed to, like, what the hell the movie was about. Like, the full breakdown of the movie. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Okay, so I see it like a lot of okay, I see it like a good mixture of ones and twos. So some people really liked it. A lot of people didn't like it at all, or thought it was okay. I see some threes and eights. So I don't know if an eight means that you hated it. I see a three. Okay. So Coconut Jive says it sounds like they were clones. And see, and that's what it seemed like near the end. Okay, so Discernment Rising is saying they were doppelgangers. And I heard that part. But initially, when she first started talking in that creepy ass voice that creeped me out, they were almost making it seem like they were their shadow. It was just like really weird, like just trying to understand everything they were saying. I don't know. I got to watch it again. I really do. It's like I couldn't really get too into it just because of everything that's going on in my mind with Nipsey. Let me see. Let me go back. Somebody just said something. Okay, so eight means bad. Okay. So you didn't like it at all then. Watchful Seer says it was very cryptic. Okay. Sage says, I feel like it was too deep for the average viewer. Even I had to think about it for a long time. Okay, I'm glad it wasn't just me. Like when I watched Get Out, I understood that when I left the theater, I wasn't confused. I really enjoyed it. You know, I was able to kind of just understand everything. Like it just flowed better. But with Us, it was so deep. I just literally I was the last person to leave the theater. My kids were like, "Are you coming?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, let me get up." I was literally the last person. I watched the whole credits. I just sat there trying to just think like, what did I just get out of that movie? Literally they were coming in cleaning popcorn and I'm like still sitting there with my blanket like, what the hell did what was this movie about? And I don't know. It was just a lot to think about. I'm gonna have to really go back and rewatch it. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who kind of left Us thinking like, okay, this was almost way too damn deep. And then like all the rabbits and it was like a lot of esoterical stuff. There's a lot of esoterical stuff in that movie, but I just have to figure out more about those people in the underground that were living like on the under part of the world, and then how when she would have visions, it would flip back and forth. I don't know. It was just a lot. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling it for those of y'all who haven't watched it yet. It's so deep, I can't spoil the movie for y'all. Like, what I'm saying now is not going to spoil anything, because the movie's like just so damn deep. Okay, so JT says, reality TV news says, I didn't like the movie Us. Um, so Sin City said the clones ate the rabbits. Okay, so that's why there were so many rabbits all through the movie? Okay. That makes sense. Because I was just like, why are there rabbits everywhere? Okay. Coconut Jive says, Jordan is a genius. Saxophone Art says, they're clones that share a soul. They live a replicated life below the surface. However, it's a poorer quality, sadder life. And I kind of got that as well. I don't know. I just felt like it didn't flow for me. I just felt like it was just really choppy and it was just weird. It was just really weird. But I'm gonna have to go back and watch some more. You said he kept playing the Loonies, scary film killer. Yeah, there was like certain bits of funny parts in there, but there was a lot of subliminal messages as well. Okay, let me read these super chats. Dolores Dick says, Nipsey being gone hurts my soul and I can't fall asleep. I'm glad he owned his masters. Thank you for going live, Auntie T. You are more than welcome. And thank you for joining us tonight. Brisa Moore says, hey T, I'm a huge fan of yours. Your videos make my day. I love your personality and how real and relatable you are. I will always support you. Keep up the great work, 100. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you to y'all who see the BS and don't bring me the BS and don't DM me the BS and don't bring the BS to my doorstep, because y'all know I'm not here for none of that negativity. So I appreciate the support of my real fans and supporters. Y'all know how I get down. Water off a duck's back. I could care less about any of that mess. When we have real things going on in the real world affecting real people, I love you too. Thank you guys. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad, the whole thing that's going on, and everybody wants to talk about, gang violence and, people losing their lives and, Black Lives Matter. Now, again, I don't know who killed Nipsey. I don't know if it was, another black gangbanger or if it was, a government, psyops. I don't know. But what I do know is that a lot of times when crimes like this happen in the hood, take, the famous person out of it, just, regular, black folks in the hood, we tend, it's usually black on black crime. And it's like, when are we going to start loving ourselves enough to, to think twice? People get into it all the time, argue, have disagreements, but it should never be that serious where you're willing to take somebody's life. And I just feel like we live in a world now where people are just so angry, so negative, so demonic. You know what I'm saying? And that negativity just festers, that people don't even think about it anymore. They don't even think twice about taking a life. I mean, it's just really, really scary when somebody can do this in broad daylight to a high profile person. Trust and believe all these celebrities right now are definitely nervous because it's showing them that they too can be touched. And especially when they're on this conscious shit. We have T.I. who's changing. And granted, yeah, sometimes I call him mushmouth T.I. because he can be over the top sometimes. He can sometimes be irritating. But I will give him his props that he is becoming more aware. He's becoming more conscious. His music, his style, he's trying to elevate, and I can respect that about him. His cheating aside, he's trying to elevate. He is trying to drop jewels. He is trying to wake up the masses and, things like that. So I'm sure people like T.I. are definitely nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because T.I. is not on that, thugging, gangbanging type stuff. He's a family man, basically. So I'm sure he's going to have to, have more security. And I know he dealt with a situation a few years back when his best friend, Falant, was killed. He was killed. I forgot what state they were in. They got into it with some guys at a club, and they ended up following them and doing a drive-by on their bus. I mean, so it's really sad that, we sit here and we watch folks struggle, especially when they come from the hood, they come from the projects, and then we watch them grow out of that, start getting a bag, start getting their money, and instead of being happy for them and supporting them, it's like you always have people plotting. And I think that's the saddest part. We can run this as a conspiracy theory, but what I'm saying that in the event it's not a conspiracy and it's just, some gang banging nonsense, it's sad that people have that mentality. Okay, so it was in Cincinnati. Thank you, Shady Real Talk Show. I appreciate that. Yeah, he went through a lot when Falant was killed. That was sad. Miss Mom says maybe unrelated, but wasn't he a Crip? I'm a Crip. You spelled it wrong. Yes, he was. Yeah, a lot of our favorite musicians are in gangs. I mean, it is what it is. Blueface is a Crip, But the difference between Nipsey and a lot of these new rappers who are claiming, Crip and blood and stuff like that, he wasn't perpetuating that lifestyle any longer. He was doing a lot of positive things for the community. And this wasn't Nipsey just started being positive, 3 months ago. No, he's been doing stuff really positive in the community for years now. So he was using the power he had in the hood. He was using the power that he had, with the Crips and things like that to turn things around and do the right thing. Killer Mike, he hooked up with a bunch of Crips for his new Netflix special. I forget the name. If y'all know it, write it in there. But he has a new show on Netflix, and I got a chance to watch it. He has several episodes, and one of the episodes is that he went to Atlanta, and he got with a lot of local Crips in the area, and he was able to get them to start their own business. And they started like a pop business called Cripicola, some shit like that. But they started a legitimate business, you know what I'm saying? And then also out there, I know there's like, I forget the name of it, but it's almost like it's two gang members. One's a blood and one's a Crip, and they came together to start like this whole kitchen. And so basically you can go to their location and they cook. So instead of slinging drugs, they're slinging chicken and side items and things like that. And it's really popular in LA, and they're getting bigger. So you have a lot of people who are now waking up and being more woke and realizing that the gang banging shit is a dead end. Like I talked about a few years ago, when I did, probably like a year ago, when I did my, what video did I do? I also talked about it on a live stream too. But when we were talking about the N-word, that's what it was. We were talking about the N-word, and I was saying, I was calling out NWA. I was like, I don't want to hear shit about Bill Maher when NWA basically helped to, popularize that word. I don't really, nobody has the right to use that word, and I don't care if you're black, white, Latino. I don't like that word per se, Because one thing I realized that I learned from somebody in LA a long time ago who was in a gang, who did gang bang. And me and him had a really, really deep conversation one night. He's an OG, he's older. And we had a really deep conversation. And he told me, he says that basically the word nigga, it dehumanizes that person. You know what I'm saying? So whenever they would do dirt, it's a lot easier to kill a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't look at them as a human. You don't look at them as, as somebody that you can see yourself in. You're calling them a nigga. It's a lot harder to kill a brother. It's a lot harder to kill a king. It's a lot harder to kill a prince. It's a lot harder to kill a queen. But it's so easy to kill a nigga. So that's the mentality that a lot of people, they want to hold on to. And so when I see people who grew up in a lifestyle, especially like gang banging, thugging and stuff like that, where they were involved in a lot of nefarious shit, to make it through. They talk about it in their music, they talk about it in their interviews and things like that. And then you see them turning themselves around, and you see them trying to build businesses and trying to become more woke and more conscious and more aware. It's sad that eventually they become a threat. Eventually they get shelved. And one of the things I really respected about Nipsey is the fact that for a long time, he wasn't signed to a label. He recently just signed to a label. He owned his own masters. He didn't play that shit. When you got a Nipsey Hussle album, that money went 100% to Nipsey Hussle. He was an underground artist for a long time. It wasn't until he finally signed mainstream that's what really helped propel the Victory Lap album and brought it out to the masses, so much so that he was able to be nominated for a Grammy. But for a long time, he was underground. Okay, thank you. It's called Trigger Warning by Killer Mike on Netflix. That's the show. Thank you, Brianna Christensen. Annie says, thank you. They are a threat to the government. Yeah, anytime you become woke and you're talking about real shit and you're showing people how to do better and get out their situation, it's a threat because they rather us be dumbed down. And when you think about the things that we promote, like I talk about it all the time on my channel, so much so that people probably think, I'm just angry and bitter and just, need to shut the fuck up, and that's fine. But like I always tell you guys, I feel like sometimes we live in such a backwards, upside down society. Right is good, good is bad, anything goes, do what thou wilt. The people and the things that get perpetuated and get rewarded is such bullshit. You have okay, I thought my screen went out. You have the Cash Me Outside girl, and not to constantly shit on her, but you have her and all her antics. And she's rewarded with Snapchat shows, big ass billboards in Beverly Hills. I talked about this a few weeks ago when I was out there in LA. I was like shocked and annoyed and slightly pissed off to see her on this huge billboard promoting her Snapchat show. I've never seen Nipsey on a billboard promoting any of his businesses. I've never seen them promoting anything that man has done for the community out there in LA. You know what I'm saying? In like a grand fashion. But this young girl who literally became famous for some bullshit, went viral, has now been blessed with so many opportunities, from makeup lines to clothing deals to just all types of things that are coming her way. It's not called hating before y'all start writing. You're hating on a little girl. Nobody's hating. But you have to ask yourself, why do they push certain behaviors? Why do they push certain things to be okay? But then when that person is doing the right thing, when they're talking about, black empowerment, being more aware. Even on the Breakfast Club, he was talking about, eating better, eating to live, fasting, cleansing your body. Why when people talk about things that can benefit us as a society, black, white, or other, right? Positive things that can benefit us, then all of a sudden it's like, shut up, you talking too much. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. They don't promote that. But they will go out their way to push and promote debauchery and fuck shit. And that's facts. What's up, Freddie? I see a lot of y'all popping through. Miss Mommy says, not hating is disgusting behavior. Exactly. But the sad part is, when you call that out, that's the first thing these people want to say. But again, when you have a low-hanging fruit mentality, that's the first thing that comes to mind. You're just hating. You're just jealous. Because again, Everything is about that bag, no matter who you have to shit on, step on, disrespect. As long as you're getting that bag, as long as you're getting clicks and views and you're going viral, that's the mentality that we're teaching this younger generation. That's what we're teaching them, and that's why you're going to have more kids acting a fool because, again, like I said in my video on the news network, look how we're out here behaving as adults. And we're supposed to be the ones setting, you know what I'm saying, setting the example for the next generation, and we're doing a shitty job of that. We really are. Derek Ellis says, true that. Thank you. Ashreen89 says, an opinion is not hating. Let's see here. Michelle Green says, my prayers go out to the family. It's sad how people do messed up things and then take somebody's life. Let's see here. Bring back spanking, Lisa Campbell. I feel you on that one. Yeah, we do need discipline. Discipline is not abuse. You know, you have kids who are just running amok right now. Like you really are. Yes, Antoine, rest in peace to a legend. That's very true. There's so many comments. I'm just trying to read through them here. So Blue Drop 5 says, this was definitely a hit. Dr. Sebi connected. You know, like I said, all we can do is speculate. The thing that's always bothered me about Dr. Sebi's death was the way he died. Like, you couldn't have told me that Dr. Sebi would die in some dirty ass prison in some other country. What they say, he had like maybe $10,000 on him or something like that. It was just weird. Like, you would assume that somebody as well known and, you know, just well put together as Dr. Sebi, you know, as old as he was still out here having babies and doing backflips and everything else. You would think he would have died peacefully in his bed. Like, everything with Dr. Sebi has just always, you know, with his death, excuse me, not with him, but with his death, has never sat well with me. And maybe he uncovered some stuff. Maybe he uncovered some things and got too close to some information that we are not privy to. You know, you just never know. When you go digging sometimes that rabbit hole goes really, really deep. And maybe that might have been a situation. Okay, let me see here. We have a super chat from Quandinero Mayhems. Sorry if I said it wrong. He says, TIGTG, I just can't. I'm so sad and depressed today. Just let me go to bed. I love y'all. Okay, have a good day at work tomorrow. Love y'all. Love you, T. Shake my head. Thank you so much for stopping through and spending some time with us. I know it's late. You know, like I said, I went to go see Us earlier, so that's why I'm on here real late. But thank you for stopping through. Dolores Giggs says, my sister just told me YT is starting to take down videos about Nipsey Hussle's death. That's interesting. Well, that means they'll probably end up shutting down this live stream, so we're going to have to see what happens. I mean, as long as they're not, you know, posting his death video, why are they taking down videos? You know, so that is very interesting. So, Germ Moore, thank you for the super chat. He says, us had to do with the government and the straw man birth certificate, second person you. Okay, cool. Like I said, I'm definitely going to start looking at all like the deep videos and like the deep breakdowns of Us. I have to, because my mind now is like just wondering, trying to figure out like, you know, all the bits and parts and what I missed. So thank you for that. That's good to know. Allison says, let me see. You were writing something good. Let me go back here. Okay, I can't find her comment. Majetic Source says, they don't want to see us shine. Look what happened to the black guy. That's an attorney. He got interrogated, violated because they didn't believe he was a lawyer. I did hear about that. That was sad. I Am Dark Musician says, Dr. Sebi actually won one of his lawsuits against the U.S. government about the claims of him curing certain diseases. Yep, we talked about that earlier. He sure did. Aline Navarro says, I love how you call out ignorance and bullshit. Thank you. I appreciate it. 21 Savage's goons. Wait, what? Pac says 21 Savage goons shot at Nipsey more than 13 times in East Atlanta 10 months ago. Okay, that's some tea. I didn't know about that. So Sun Queen says this situation has not put me on, although it's sad. Maybe more people will research Dr. Sebi. That's true. Hopefully they will. Eddie Lamar Davis says killing off woke people is their way of keeping us in this sheep mentality. Definitely. Pretty Melanin says he didn't deserve the way they did him, especially with his daughter. He was cool, positive dude, always trying to uplift people and put them on game. I watched his 30 questions video with Lauren London yesterday. Rest in peace. That's the video I heard about. And I heard that it was just, now that this has happened, I don't know. I can't even imagine, because that was just filmed recently with Lauren London and Nipsey. Rain D, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, T, you are such a light. Thank you for all that you do, and pray that God continues to bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all y'all's prayers and positive messages. It means a lot. It gets me through. That's why I'm able to hold my head up and not worry about none of the BS. You know what I'm saying? To the ignorant people who just feel the need to troll and do all the stuff that they're doing. Just, hopefully you guys are not knocking your blessings by trolling and doing silly stuff. But to all y'all who pray for me and keep me in prayer, I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me from the bottom of my heart. Let's see here. We got a lot of comments coming in. Sharika Johnson says, T, I'm about to go watch Us now. Love you, sister girl. Keep keeping it real. Wake God's people up. Thank you so much for stopping through. Hopefully you enjoy the movie. I love you too. I love you too, Rhino Ramirez. Thank you so much. Blue Drop says, when MLK was on some nonviolent stuff, he was cool. But the minute MLK speeches exposed the government's subsidies to white people, he was assassinated. This was a hit. Yeah, there's a lot of shady shit that went on with that whole MLK assassination, but that's a whole nother video. Because a lot of people, you notice the narrative that they always try and push about MLK was that he was this docile, Southern preacher, and he was just talking about everybody getting along and, bringing blacks and whites together. But if you listen to his later speeches, he even admitted to to the world that maybe he did the wrong thing by trying to integrate everybody. That basically he's integrated his people into a burning house. So there are many sides to Dr. Martin Luther King. Don't let I guess the schoolyard, the educational system water him down. Because he did a lot of stuff on behalf of poor people. He led a lot of strikes and things like that. He wasn't just a man that just had I had a dream speech and, allegedly cheated on his wife. He was way bigger than that. And near the end of his life, he realized that some of his messages were way too passive. And even he didn't agree with where he started. But again, that's life. He was young. He was young, and you literally had a whole generation of people who looked up to him. I couldn't imagine having that pressure at his age. I don't want, millions of black people looking up to me. So I couldn't even imagine the pressure he was under. Him and Martin Luther King. Him and Malcolm X. Both of them. Flossie Brooklyn, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Comical Sun says 21 Savage is a blood. Senna says, I'm 33 and I can't imagine. Exactly. People forget that. And I think because we've been hearing the Martin Luther King narrative since we were young, literally since kindergarten, MLK Day, Martin Luther King, and he did this for black people. We forget that he was really a young guy. I didn't realize how young he was until I became his age. I'm like, damn, dude was 33 years old and he was literally leading a whole nation of people. Malcolm X as well. That's a lot of pressure. You got 33-year-olds nowadays, they can't even lead their damn household, let alone a whole nation of people. It's crazy. So Sabrina T says, speaking the truth about MLK. Montez Richardson says you use a lot of details in your stories. That's why I like you. Thank you so much. Tiana says, what gang members know how to shoot and hit 5 major organs and once in the head? Marksmanship 100. Now, I heard about the headshot, which I'm going to be honest with you. Most gang members, I was having a conversation about this story that happened years ago when I was growing up in the Twin Cities. I had to be about in 7th grade. And so we were talking about downtown St. Paul. There was like this, what can I compare downtown St. Paul to back then? It was like kind of like a shopping center in like our downtown area. So they had like a food court. It was almost like a little mall, right? But because it's really cold in the winters, they do a lot of stuff indoors. So it was like, let's say it was like an indoor plaza. So you had like different shops and boutiques and, you know, little food court and stuff like that. You had a Foot Locker. So back when I was in 7th grade, there's a young kid, you know, that's when gangbanging was really popular. You know, you had the whole West Coast and Snoop and all them. So 2 young kids, they were like 15 and 16, they were in high school at the time. And so basically they saw their rivals at a Foot Locker. And people in St. Paul, y'all know this story. They saw their rivals at a Foot Locker. 2 cousins. The one cousin is standing behind his cousin. He goes to shoot the ops. Closes his eyes. Shoots his own cousin in the back of his head. And we were just talking about that the other day, me and one of my friends. And I was like, do you remember that? You remember what happened to such and such? And we were talking about that. And we were like, it was so long ago. We were babies. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm only bringing that up because you mentioned what gangbangers can shoot that precise. Most gangbangers, they can't. That's why you have so many, you know, people getting hit by stray bullets, innocent, you know, bystanders getting hit, babies getting killed in their house because of, you know, drive-bys and shit like that. So, I mean, you're 100% correct. But that's like one of those stories that just stays with me. Because I remember that was his cousin's defense. Like, I didn't mean to kill my cousin. And he was young. I forgot how much time they gave him, but he ended up going to prison. But even though he didn't mean to kill his cousin and it was fucked up, they felt like either way, regardless if you shot your cousin by accident, your purpose was to kill somebody in Foot Locker, and anybody could have died. So I don't know how much time you end up getting, but yeah, most gangbangers, they just close their eyes and they start shooting. Shar H says, I'm addicted to your channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Elizabeth. Oh, okay, I like the way you spell it. Elizabeth XX. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So yeah, it's really sad. We were thinking about that the other day, and it just had me like, wow. They were like 15 and 16. Thick as thieves. Cousins, banged together, all that stuff. And he ended up one went to prison, the other one got buried. So, you know, like they say, gangbanging is not a lifestyle. It's a death style. So I can respect somebody, you know, who grew up in that lifestyle and they're teaching the next generation. Like, it's so not worth it. That's why I really get bothered when I see, like, just so much, like, this whole resurgence of gangbanging in hip-hop now. It's like it was gone for a while, but now it's like this huge resurgence, and it's just crazy. Okay, so Pumpkin Escobar says, growing up in Bed-Stuy in the late 80s and 90s, my parents didn't let me sleep in the front. All the bedrooms were in the back of the house. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are definitely days like that where you hear so much gunshots, everybody just has to be in one room, you know, the room furthest from the street, because you know if you're down there by the living room, that's closer to the street, a stray bullet comes in, it's a wrap. So, nah, I definitely feel you on that. It's sad. Listen to, like, stories from, like, OGs from, like, LA. They got stories for days. And especially, like, and that was one of the things that I did like when I worked on the set of Straight Outta Compton, is that I got a chance to meet so many people. You know, just talking to, like, all types of people, different walks of life. You know, some people who were gang banging, some people who were not, some people who grew up in the gangs, and, you know, just to hear their stories. And they were even telling me, you know, because I know we had one conversation on set one night. It was real deep. And they were telling me about like the abuse they used to face from like the LAPD, like how like they would just get harassed and you know beat up. And so a lot of the scenes that they were shooting of the NWA characters, like how they were getting harassed by the police, it was almost like what can I call it? Almost like post traumatic stress syndrome to a lot of the guys who were on set. Like you could tell they were like they lived that shit. You know, they were holding it in like I'm not about to be on set crying, but they lived that shit. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I've always stated is that we have like when you get shipped to Iraq, when you get shipped to Afghanistan, because you're there, you're trained to kill and you know, you're trained to be a soldier. And a lot of times those young men and women that go out there to go, you know, fight, you know, to keep America safe, quote unquote, they have PTSD. They have a lot of PTSD. They come back with a lot of, you know, just mental issues and things like that. Sometimes it's hard for them to function in society. And they're only there for like, you know, a year, 2 years, maybe 3 at the most. Then they come back. But do you notice nobody talks about the post-traumatic syndrome that goes on in the hood? No one talks about that. No one talks about the counseling that these people need when you're sitting there witnessing death over and over and it's right outside your door. When you live in the neighborhood and you literally can point out every house who has lost somebody, those are all traumas that we keep with us. And a good example is Pierre. If you guys remember the little boy, the 8-year-old boy that got killed in Chicago, and I was covering the story years ago, Pierre Stokes. And I'll never forget, there's a woman, she's one of my subscribers. She's known Pierre for a long time. She worked with him when he was in the juvenile justice system. And now that he's in the jail, I don't think he's been tried yet. But she ended up contacting me, letting me know, that's how me and her first got to talking, that he ran across my video. This is a young man who was gang affiliated, gang banged, everything else, but he took care of his son. He was a good father. He had that boy. That boy stayed more with Pierre. The boy didn't even stay with the mother like that. And that's not me being shady towards her. That's me being all the way real. Pierre walked that boy to school every day, to and from school. The boy stayed with him. He took care of his son. When you saw Pierre, you saw that boy. So this man's son ends up getting killed. It becomes national news. So now all eyes are on him, the city of Chicago. The mother's out here wilding, trying to get GoFundMe's to get a new car, just all types of just fucked shit that was going on with that case. And then the Chicago radio station had him on the radio, interviewing him, asking him all these just stupid questions about his son. Well, how do you feel? How are you going to maintain now? And I'm watching this, and y'all can go back and watch the video. And I said, this man needs help. He's going to have some PTSD behind this. He literally, you know what I'm saying, his son was killed in a heinous way. And then the killers are bragging about it. They were taunting him on social media. All types of shit was going on with this man. So what ended up happening was less than 2-3 months later, he ends up shooting 3 people. And they were affiliates and family members of the people who killed his son. So do you guys understand when I say that you can grow up in the hood and we never get treated for PTSD? Nobody ever says, how about I pay for this man's counseling? How about I pay to help him, you know, deal with his grief? We never talk about that. But the government has no problem paying for the grief and the counseling of soldiers who are in situations shorter than people who are grown up in the hood their whole life, from the time they're born to the time they die. Let me read some of these super chats. Yes, Tyshawn Lee. Okay, so Yuri Dice says, I was just watching your Tyshawn Lee video of this story. Yeah. And his dad ended up seeing my video after he shot those people. And he was telling the woman that everything I said in that video was 100% right. And he almost wished he would have ran across my video before he went and did what he did. Because I kept saying he needs help. Y'all are putting him on platform to platform, toting him all around these Chicago radio stations, but nobody's paying for that man to get a grief counselor. Nobody's paying for that man to get some psychological help. He lost his child, the only thing that was consistent in his life that was positive, that had nothing to do with the gangs, that had nothing to do with the crazy environment that he was in. But instead, they just kept exploiting him and exploiting him until he finally snapped. So, Fashion DYI Tawana says, T, you're going to have me all kinds of tired this morning, but your tea is what? Piping hot. Love you. Love you too. And I'm sorry. I've been on here for an hour. I'm not going to stay on too long. We have about 4,000 people in here. It is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to get off at 1. It's 12:43 right now. It's Yvonne Kelly says, I love you, T. The whole situation is wicked. Nipsey was one of the least problematic rappers out. Please, let's put the guns down. Amen. You stated nothing but the truth. Rest in peace to him. Asia Dominique says, anytime black men attempt to elevate and go to the next level to introduce the truth to the masses, they take them out. Prince equals dead. MJ equals dead. Nipsey equals dead. That's deep. That's deep. And the sad part is his music is going to be worth even more now that he's gone. People are going to be streaming his music, buying his music, because now he's signed to a label. So it's not independent anymore like he was. So at the end of the day, the money goes back to the so-called system that may have possibly taken him out. Because like one of the people said in the chat room, it wasn't just a headshot. His major organs were also hit as well. So yeah, that definitely sounds like some type of hit if they were that accurate. I don't know too many accurate gangbangers. Let's see, I got a super chat. Thank you, Latifa Manzano. I appreciate it. And let's welcome new member Robin Adistair. Thank you for joining the membership. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Kitty Cat said, I saw an Insta of a kid saying that he did it. What the fuck? We talked about that earlier. We live in a world of social media attention whoring. You know, so much so that somebody is now trying to lay claim to taking Nipsey Hussle's life as if the shit is funny. But again, that's the society that we live in. And then you have, you know, crazy people sitting here feeding into that, giving them the attention that they're seeking, giving them platforms and everything else. It's sad. It's really sad. What killer would take to social media to admit something like that? Rhino Ramirez says, this country is very divided because of serious issues within our communities. And instead of going against each other, let's get together and work together to stop the violence. I love that. That makes a lot of sense, and I wish that we could. You know, I think that'd be a good initiative. Maybe instead of everybody, and not everybody, sorry, maybe instead of selected people in LA trying to turn up and, you know, start this whole gang war that everybody is scared that's going to happen in LA, maybe let's use that energy to do something positive, especially in Nipsey Hussle's memory. Because he would not want y'all gangbanging and shooting each other on his behalf. He'd want you guys to, you know, do something positive on his behalf. You know, don't go back to that same lifestyle that he was preaching against. Don't go back to that same mentality. So I'm hoping that, you know, people end up turning this around and making this a positive out of this negative, you know, issue that's going on right now in LA. But sadly, who knows? Who knows? Janae says, last time I heard from Nipsey, he was doing a photo shoot in a mag with Lauren London. Prayers, man. Yeah. Richie Rich 81 says, speaking of MLK, did y'all hear about MLK surviving the gunshot and he was rushed to the hospital, where the doctors that were supposed to be treating him are the ones that killed him by smothering him? Somebody told me about that the other day. Honestly, somebody told me about that the other day. Where did you guys see that? Was that like in an interview? Because we were talking about that the other day, but they never told me where they got that from. So I just thought they were just, you know, pulling out their own conspiracy. So that's really interesting that you wrote that, because somebody told me about that. Amber Green says, I wonder how they had the world in order in the first place. Not sure what that means. Teresa says he was killed army style. Risa says whoever did this is getting dealt with. Yes, but the crazy thing is if it's somebody who is not a gang member and this wasn't a gang issue, are they really going to be dealt with? Delroy Blake says, Bree, stay woke. Conspiracy's been out long before social media. Amen. You ain't never heard of the magic bullet? That was one of the oldest conspiracies I first heard about, and that's been going around since Kennedy was assassinated. So, conspiracies have been around since the dawn of man. YouTubers did not invent conspiracies. We just found a new way to bring them to the masses. And the conspiracies that people work on YouTube, not all of them, because you got some disinformation out there. So you have to be smart and always do your own research. Like I always tell people, even when I talk about shit, don't take my word for it. Like LeVar Burton used to say, I'm reading Rainbow, don't take my word for it. Go and do your own research. You never take anybody's word 100%, because a lot of people look you straight in the face and tell bullshit ass lies, okay? So even with the conspiracy theories that you guys see on YouTube, always make sure to do your own due diligence. But conspiracy theories have been around forever. It's just that now, you see them more now, and because of social media. But the sad part is a lot of conspiracy channels that we were talking about last week are being taken down by YouTube. They're like, shutting down their videos, deleting their videos, making them harder to search for. So it's insane. Okay, we have let me see here. I thought we had another super chat. Yeah, the magic bullet. Google it. I was just trying to prove a point that conspiracies are not nothing new. Google magic bullet, and you'll see how old that conspiracy goes. Elizabeth says, no, thank you for all you do. You're a true queen. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see here. No, I'm not gonna talk about the magic bullet. I talked about it a little bit last week. My last live stream, we kind of hit up on it. I don't want to make this a whole JFK conspiracy video. Okay, so Chrissy Howard says, T, what do you get with the memberships? They're mainly people who just want to support, but I am working on something to where I just do private chats with just only my members. So it's just right now I just been super busy, but I am working on that because a lot of these live streams, I don't necessarily want to do them with a bunch of people and trolls and all that mess. So I much rather talk to them with people who are serious fans and who like what I do and who want to have adult conversations, not just sit and talk about bullshit all day and drag and troll and all that nonsense. So I will be doing some stuff with my Patreons and with my members. I just have to find the time. But for now, it's just people who just support me and support the channel. Gina Love says, you use your platform for good. Bless you. Thank you. And I will always use my platform for, for positive stuff, sipping tea, light stuff, you know what I mean? Fun stuff. I'm never going to use my platform and what I built for bullshit and tearing down people and all that nonsense. That's not what I do. So I like how my platform is ran, and it's going to be continuing to ran like that. I'm not about to switch up for anybody. Vamo the Savage says Marcus Garvey was trying to convince black Americans to move back to Africa because this country is set for us to stay under. He was trying to, but what happened to the ones who went back to Africa? If we're going to tell this story, let's tell it all. I'm just saying. There were people who went back to Africa. They went back to the country of Liberia. And what happened is that they started oppressing the Africans there because they still had the mentality that they were brainwashed to have in America. So they went there, and then they started thinking they were better than the Africans there in Liberia because a lot of them had more English names. So they had names like Green and White and Baker and stuff like that. Then they went back to Africa and told the native Liberians and, the native people there that they were better than them, and they started doing the same thing that the whites were doing to the blacks here in America. They then started oppressing the African population there. Excuse me. So that's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about. So welcome new member, Mary Jane. Hella Pi. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with names. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. I apologize for that. Let's see here. Yeah, it was the truth. Somebody laughed. Well, I mean, Green is a last name, or Baker, but yeah, that is what happened. Is that a lot of them try to colonize, and then Sexy Eros is saying that the tribes didn't accept them either. Yeah, because you figure they had been in America, for at least 1 or 2 generations, so it didn't work. It just didn't work. And that's the thing. It's like this whole conflict that still arises, and I think a lot of it is just misinformation. You got to think about who controls the imagery of black people to the masses. It's the mainstream media. So here in America, a lot of people, black Americans here, they see negative images of Africa, dirty kids and swollen bellies and, famine. So they're showing you like this horrible picture of Africa, trying to make it so, black Americans, don't like Africans or don't ever want to go there. It's a dirty country. In the words of Donald Trump, it's a shithole. Stuff like that. They perpetuate those negative images of Africa to Americans here. And then what do they do in return? In return, they perpetuate images that are negative of African Americans to Africans. So they're seeing imagery of African Americans gang banging, selling drugs, killing one another. So they're feeding all this misinformation to people on 2 different continents, and that's where a lot of conflict comes in, because you have Africans who are sitting here thinking they're scared, they don't really want to mingle with African Americans, they're wild, this and that. Then you have African Americans thinking, Africans, are dirty, they live in dirty huts, and just all this stuff that the media perpetuates. And they do that to divide us. That's really what it is. They do that to divide us. That's why I always say you never judge anybody based off of what you think about their ethnic group. Judge people based off of them, especially when it comes to other people of color, especially when it comes to other black people. Don't just assume that everybody from the Caribbean just does voodoo and smokes weed all day. That's just a stereotype. You have to get to know that individual. Don't assume that African Americans just sit and gang bang all day and sell drugs and, commit like the worst crimes. A lot of that stuff is perpetuated. I know so many African American people who are hardworking people, business owners, trying to do the right thing, but the media does not sit there and perpetuate that imagery of African Americans. They always want to perpetuate the most negative imagery, and they blast that out to the rest of the world. So you got to realize that's where a lot of that conflict comes from in this modern day and age. That's where a lot of that comes from. Stone Love Favor, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming through. We have another member. Welcome, Lauren Marshall. Thank you so much for joining the membership, Lauren. I appreciate it. Decatur's Brown Eyes. Okay, honey, I like that name. Gotta get ready for work and in bed listening to your videos. Thank you. Walk around saying, honey, singing your song because it's a lot of scams and BS going on too fast. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. But yes, I'm glad you guys see where I'm coming from. It's a lot of that going on. Okay, Aurea, what is going on with Jada Pinkett and August Alsina? Because I seen somebody else, they sent me a DM. They were just like, Jada Pinkett and August Alsina, I don't know if they were trending or people were talking about it. What's going on with them? Because I have no idea. I've always assumed that they might have been messing around. I'm just saying. Because there was a while where it was like this weird energy I felt from the two of them. I'm like, is Jada getting her some young dick on the side? Okay, let me stop. I don't know. I'm just being messy, but I kind of felt like that vibe when she had him on the Red Table Talk, and even before then, she was always like, tweeting him, and I don't know. It was just like this weird vibe. So what's going on with them? What's the tea on Jada Pinkett and August Alsina? I love both of them. I'm a big fan of both. Welcome new member Adante Cook. Thank you so much for joining the membership. I love that name, Adante. That's different. Sam says morning from the UK. It's almost 1 o'clock. Oh my goodness. Look, everybody's like, honey. So what is going on with them? Y'all ain't spilling no tea? Wait. Empress says they broke up? Are y'all trying to say they was together? Let me find out Tigro Damas's suspicions were correct. Bitch. They broke up. How you break up and she a whole married woman? How does that work, Jada? So August did smash. August, he smashed the homie. August, he smashed the homie. Y'all remember that? Danger. She smashed the homie. Danger. When Ray J was on that show for the love of Ray J, and they used to go in on Danger. Is that what is going on? Were they really messing around? My intuition, honey. He wrote a song that they slept together. Honey? Didn't I just call it 2 seconds ago? I always felt a weird vibe with the two of them. So that's what's going on? Thank you, Elizabeth, for that tea. So Jada wanted some of that young peen, honey. She said if Will Smith can run around here in this open relationship, she can too. They stopped following each other? Hold up. Now, y'all are spilling tea in here. I've been so busy. Okay, he dropped the song and video. The video was a text message, and the contact name was Jada's middle name. Jada had a boyfriend. Will has a girlfriend. I saw the headline. Wow. I already knew about them swinging. I've been hearing about that. I had a feeling they were messing around. It was something about their vibe. She was too invested in this young dude. I mean, he's fine now, don't get me wrong. But it was almost like, you spend more time talking about him, and I'm here for him, and I'm very close to August, making sure he's good. I don't even see her all up on her kids like that. She is now because she has a Red Table Talk, but I'm talking about this was like 2-3 years ago when she just couldn't stop tweeting him, and, I'm his advisor, and I'm helping him out. Yeah, okay, helping him out all right, throwing him some cooch. She's trying to get that young peen. Oh, y'all spilled the tea for real, for real. I wasn't expecting that. So he came out and put it out there. Hopefully it's not an April Fool's joke. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's officially April Fool's. I don't think it would be, though. August is a pretty serious guy. Yvette says, T, I know you're getting bombarded with messages. I'm getting a lot of messages. Thank you, Magnetic Source, for the super chat. Yeah, please write down the name of the song. I gotta check that out. Let me see. We got another. Okay, same member. Let's see here. No, I gotta check that out. I'm not surprised, though. I felt that energy about her and August for a long time. For a long time. Cajun says, add me on IG. Right now, my IG is completely private. I'm going to keep it private for a while. I got like 3,000 requests, and I'm just tired of the trolling. So I'm just chopping it up with my IG people who rock with me. Maybe I'll make it public in a few weeks, but right now it's staying private. When I tell y'all I'm big on protecting my energy, I don't have time for BS. So that's what I'm doing. I'm protecting my energy. You know what I'm saying? Staying prayed up, staying positive. So that was a source of negative energy. People just thinking they could just come on my shit and say whatever. And then when I block them, I'm the bad guy, Chung Lee. Okay. It is what it is. Don't come on my page saying stupid stuff. So I just made it private. So maybe once it's unprivated, then y'all will be able to get in there. But for now, it's just private, and I'm chilling with my tea sippers that actually followed me and weren't just trying to be nosy. Because most people who complain about being shut out of my Instagram are people who aren't following me. They were just there to be nosy. So it's like, well, if you were actually following, me making my page private wouldn't affect you. And that's facts. Brevon says, that's right, T. Protect your energy. Yes, and I always will. I always will. I would never allow anybody to drain my energy. That's not worth it. My energy is for my family, my true fans, my true supporters. That's it. We're not addressing or dealing with any nonsense. Oh, Naturally Solange, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, my husband and I rather watch you than the news. That's what's up. That makes me happy. That's what's up. Let's see here. Will did 6 Degrees of Separation. Yeah, that was one of his first roles. Okay, so Meek says, I'm trying to become a member, but don't want to put my credit card info online. PayPal accepted. I don't know how the membership works, honestly. I have no idea. Maybe the mods can help. I don't know. Alicia Star says, I'm on your Instagram. Thank you. I'm glad you're on there. We have fun. I like posting a lot of silly stuff on my Instagram. But that Nipsey, man, that took me for a loop. I wasn't ready for that one. Especially when they finally told me that he was the one who passed. Everybody's just been on there just talking and just kind of supporting each other and things like that. Like, I like to keep my space real positive. And for the most part, we have a good time on my Instagram. We kiki. You know, I post like crazy videos, random videos and stuff that make people laugh. That's the type of energy I like to put out there on my Instagram. So I'm glad that you enjoy it. So you guys, it is officially, it's 1:04. I've been on here for an hour and a half. I don't want to make this too long, but I hope I left you guys with some things to like just think about, to ponder. You know, my heart again goes out to Lauren London, goes out to their 2 babies. You know, Nipsey's daughter, her son. This situation is just sad. And as more information comes out, I'll definitely keep you guys posted. But I wanted to come on here and talk about it, being that we're going to have a Sunday night discussion anyways. You know, I just hope that this ends up waking people up. And I hope that eventually, you know, some type of change happens. But it's like we're just going to have to sit back and see what ends up happening with all of this. You know, because everybody talks about they don't want the gun violence and they don't want the, you know, the criminal element and all that stuff. But this is the second, you know, celebrity in like 2 weeks that's been killed. You know, we talked about the other guy earlier who was dating Erica Mena. You know, he was killed in front of a club in Atlanta. So it's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. Marlon Harrison says, I love you, T. May not always agree with you, but I love you and continue to support you. Thank you, Marlon. I appreciate that. And if you agreed with everything I ever said, I would be nervous. That's the best part. We're never going to agree on everything. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that I will say that you'll agree with, and there's certain things that I'll say and you'll be like, girl, have a tall glass of shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is to have dialogue. You know, and that's what I miss, and that's what I hate about this whole cancel culture. That's what I hate about this whole, you know, as soon as somebody says something that's sensitive or makes me uncomfortable that I don't like, then the next step is to just cancel them and write them off. Where it's like, well, we can't just agree to disagree. Like, you're just going to stop fucking with me because I said one thing that you don't like. And especially if it wasn't disrespectful, it's just something that you don't agree with. And unfortunately, that's where we're at as a society, is that we can't even have dialogue anymore. If you don't agree with everything that's going on, if you don't agree with every movement, people are so quick to try and shut you down and shut you up. And I think that's sad. You know, even when you call out bullshit, it's like you're not even allowed to call out bullshit. You don't know how many times I've been drugged and cussed out for calling out R. Kelly's new victims. Because I'm like, these chicks are full of shit. But in the same breath, I've always stuck up for the old victims, the ones who have been saying something. But it's like when you point out something that just doesn't make sense, people just want to get mad at you. So the fact that we can agree to disagree on certain things, to me, that's perfect, because that's what you call having mature dialogue. So thank you so much for supporting. So I think that's about it, you guys. It's getting late. Yes, For example, Kanye West, you are so right, real queen. Yeah, we don't have to agree with Kanye West, but he has the right to state his opinion, even if you think it's wrong. That's the era I grew up in. So I don't understand this whole cancel culture. As soon as somebody says something that pisses me off, I'm on Twitter writing in all caps, and I don't have the time and energy for that. Because again, like I said, people think that they're really making moves and that they're really doing something by trolling and writing in caps and putting emojis, what I'm saying, all through comment sections. And it's like, no, you're not. This is not real life. What I'm saying? Real life is what's happening out there right now in LA. Real life is what happened to Nipsey Hussle. That's real life. All this internet shit and going back and forth and dragging people and all that stuff, this is not real life. So we need to come back to a situation where we can have dialogue, where we can have open and honest dialogue, and people aren't scared to say how they feel. Because you can express yourself and disagree and be respectful. Like, I understand everybody doesn't like me, as a black woman, and it's okay because I know who I am. So it's like, no matter what people say or no matter people's opinions of black women in general, it shouldn't cut that damn deep. That's their damn opinion. Just move on. But it's like, now it's, if you don't agree with this, you need to lose your job, lose your home, be never able to work and provide for yourself ever again in life. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So Crystal Chronicles sends $5. She says, hey, mad love. Hold on. She says, hey, love. Mad that I was late for the live. You be popping. Thank you so much. And don't worry about it. It's going to be on the playback, so don't even worry about it. Thank you for joining me this evening. Or actually this morning, honey. It's 1:09. Exclusive Nest PM Services says, enjoying the tea from Amazon. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. When I tell you I'm working, I got a few more things in the works with the tea that I'm working on, and the honey I'm coming out with. So stay tuned. I'm definitely taking things to the next level. I'm not letting anybody stop or, try to mess with my business or none of that mess. I know what I've done. I've worked hard. I've grinded, and I'm so glad for the support I have from you guys. You guys are supporting the tea line, and you guys will definitely see the tea line in different places, and I'm just really excited. It's only up from here. You know what I'm saying? If I can leave you guys with anything, focus on the positive, grind, make your moves. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about the lies and the bullshit. Focus. We only have so much time here on earth. We only have so much time. You're only promised a certain amount of time. Tomorrow's never promised. Don't spend that energy on fuck shit and on stuff that does not matter. And at the end of the day, you have to think about everything you do, you're leaving a legacy. What is your legacy going to be when you pass on this earth? Is your legacy going to be you were just involved in a bunch of negativity and fuck shit? Or is your legacy going to be, you know what? That was a cool ass sister. That was a cool ass brother. He did things for the communities. He looked out for the kids. He was a good person. Even with all the mistakes that Nipsey did in his early life, look how many people are able to speak about him now. Look at the man he became at age 33 compared to where he started. And that should be everybody's goal in life. I can leave you guys with one word. That should be your goal in life. Don't think because you're watching this live stream and you're 15, 16 years old that, your life doesn't matter. You're still young. It goes by so quick. Just yesterday, I was 16. Just yesterday, I was a young teen mom. And now, I have an 18-year-old son. Like, it goes by so fast. Take a hold of every moment. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. So you have to, take control of your destiny, your life, and your energy, and use it for something that can not only benefit you, but also bless and benefit those around you. So those are the final words I'm going to leave with you guys tonight. I'm going to get ready to lay down. I'm tired. I want to think more about this movie. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Even though we were talking about something really sad and serious, thinking about it is just heartbreaking. It really is. It's just heartbreaking thinking about it. Thinking about these kids not going to have a father. Especially when you have certain men who choose not to be in their kids' lives and who choose not to be a father. And this man was trying to do the right thing and take care of his kids. So Nipsey would definitely be missed. My prayers to Lauren London as well. So you guys, thank you guys so much once again for joining me tonight. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off because I know I'll keep talking if you guys let me. But it's been an hour and 34 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and shut down. I will be back with some videos possibly by Tuesday because I still got a few things I'm doing. I'm just busy. But I should have some more videos out by Tuesday. But keep me posted. Tweet me, DM me with any news or any updates and stuff like that. So I'll talk to you guys later. Good night. Bye. Stay safe and prayed up.